Hi everyone, it's Desiree and welcome back to our third card. Yes, third card. Sometimes I just lose count. Today we are going to focus on the delicate snowflakes. Now, keeping with the album that we're building with these cards, I'm only focusing on these dies here and multiple layers. I'm not going to add even more details with the flowers, which you certainly can. You can see I have a lot of them die cut up here already. And again, we're going to work with a 5x7 card base. Now, instead of this being a side folding, it is a top folding because we're going to turn this into an easel card. All I did was take a piece of 5x8. I scored it at 1 inch, trimmed the edges just to angle them, and then I have another 5x7 panel that I glued on top. That'll create the top folding hinge. I've already taken care of my sentiments and all of that as well. So again, there's our die cut that we will be using. And what I'm going to be doing with each of these, I'm going to show you one. So I have 3 different layers. I have the 2 layers that go together, the cloud, and then the top layer. And then I grabbed a third one, and that third one's cut in either a silver, iridescent, or gold metallic cardstock. What I am going to do with all of these snowflakes, I'm just going to grab a little pile there, is we're going to connect them all with a brad. Now, I am going to glue the layers together. If this was just a standalone card, I would not worry about the gluing. I would literally just use the brad to hold the die together. But again, this is going to be in an album where pages are going to turn. Yes, I'm going to have a certain mechanism that we're going to create to hold the cards in place, but I don't want these leaves or layers to be torn at. So I have my first one down. So it's always going to be a color, whether it's light gray, dark gray, the light blue, or dark blue, then the white layer, and then the metallic layer. So this metallic layer for this one is going to sit in the middle. So we are going to have those that come up, but once we get them in place, depending upon where they're at, that will determine how I get these in place. So never fear. Now the layers have a hole already cut in, which is awesome, which we can use that to line them up as best as we can. If they're off, it's not a big deal. Going to use my punching board here. This is awesome. I found that in something that I received and definitely held on to it. I'm going to take each of the snowflakes. I'm going to take my piercing tool and I'm going to go down the center of that hole, and I'm going to put a brad through it. I'm going to use the same ones that I did before to keep the symmetry of the colors, and then I will come to the back. I will push that down, and then I will push down on the brad to get that as flat as I can. That is what I'm going to be doing to each of these snowflakes right now. I'll be right back. Okay. We have 2 sentiments done. One's going to go on the outside, one's going to go on the inside. And I have my card base here. And I've got some double-sided tape to put over those brads. Also going to pull in some acrylic strips just to, I think I might need some strength with how I'm going to build this. And I have my mats. So let's get all of our mats for our card in place. So I'm going to have a set of maps. Okay. A set of mats here. I'm just going to put some white ones in here to cover that up, and then I'm going to have a set here. So let's get those in place. Okay, got all of our mats. I did 3 layers, focusing in on the green, so just to reverse, because they have the gray and the blue over there. And I did 3 layers, and to get thin borders, just went down a 1/2 inch, or yeah, 1/8 of an inch or so with the measurements. I have one down on the bottom too, so it really makes this sturdy. Now where it's not, of course, is where it needs to bend, or how I'm constructing this. So what I'm going to do is first I need a clip. So I'm going to get one of my paper clips, and I'm just going to gently clip that down, and it'll probably shoot off to the side. I'm going to take my sentiment, and I want to put that going towards the top, but only gluing on the bottom. So just about a 1/2 inch, just a little bit over a 1/2 inch. And we're going to get that in place. Making sure that I did not just glue this. No, I did not. All right, we're gonna get that clip back in place. And instead of a clip, I'm going to use one of my flat bulldogs here. Hopefully that won't cause too much. Nah, it's not going to work either. All right, we're just going to go with it. We'll just keep pushing it down. Okay, so now that I have that in place, we're just going to look at some of these snowflakes and place them around the sentiment, and I want them to come up off of the sentiment. Now again, we've got to be careful that we're only gluing them onto the sentiment. And again, you want to make sure that you hold these just for a little bit so that they'll set. Now, I do have 3 layers of cardstock here, and all the cardstock that I'm using is heavyweight. The white's 110 pounds. The colored is either 80 or 100 pounds. So each layer does have a lot of strength going on there. Now I have these strips, and these are pretty thick. These are acrylic strips, and I even forget where I got them. And I'm going to take these, since I'm going to be coming off this arch here. I'm just going to build one. Just build a bridge. So that the snowflake will have something else to rest on. And again, I'm not worrying about the back. Just not. All right, and we'll put that like that. And again, we're just building our snowflakes. Okay, now I want another one of those blue ones. There we go. So you can see I've got that bridge, and it's going to hit the glue, hopefully at some point. I'm just going to bend that over real quick. I want to trim that one. There we go. I'm just going to push down on those. And, you know, just in case this doesn't stick, I'm just going to stick something here. Just in case, because I know I don't have too much more room, but I do want this to come up off of the piece. So now this one, we're going to put glue there and then tuck that down. All right. And again, you've just got these beautiful clusters coming up, and then I'm just going to put this last one right there. Now I want to see how high that goes, because I'm okay if it does go a little higher. All right, and we're going to put glue on that petal there and down there, because I want it to be more on this side. Cleaning my hands there. All right, now I'm going to flip this over again, because I think I need, that's a nice thick one. I want to put one of those bridges going up like that. And again, no one's going to see this part. So honestly, I am just not going to worry about that. And I'm going to hold that there for some time, because of that brad. It's just going to pop itself right back off. And I think that's the only one that we're going to need. And I think we're going to be okay with that. So we've got this cluster here, and now I'm just going to build one here, making sure I stay in that section. Okay, so we have that. Now, I want to bend this up and see where this is going to be the stopper. Yes, okay. So I'm going to add my glue. I have a little line there so that I marked where I had an idea of where I want this to go. And by simply having this sentiment there, sorry about that. I shook y'all there, didn't I? I'm so sorry. Yes, that was my head hitting the camera. All right, so we simply have that. I have lots of beautiful snowflakes left, and that's going to be our stopper, and it gives enough of an angle for this to not, you know, tip back. And we want to make sure that stays. So now we have this. And again, we have these beautiful snowflakes just coming off the top. And when we put this in, it just stops right there, and it just continues off of the page. Now, what's great, you can put a small photo here and journal up on top, or put a photo up there. You can journal down here, but either way, you have plenty of room for your photos and your memories to go down. So let me pull the album back in real quick. And you can see what I've been doing, because nothing has been permanently affixed into the album yet. I always do that very last. Paper clips and these clips are my friends when it comes to it, because in case I change my mind, in case, you know, I do any of that, I still have the ability. So the paper that I'm using on the outside, the pattern paper, is by Authentique, and it's called Snowfall. I thought it was fitting. Snowfall. Snowflakes. And I'll pull that back in towards the end. So I already have my double mats created. So I have the base of the book, which was done in white, and then the panels were permanently affixed with craft. I have a double mat that's going to come in. So each page is already set up with those colors, and then of course the back. So I chose the back to put that beautiful snowflake pop-up because I have a wider gusset. I have almost a 3/4 gusset here. Now again, clips are all holding this together. Have not put anything here yet. Have not put anything here, but I have, for some reason, I don't know why, usually I always go 3/4. 3/4 is my number for my hinge. Both sides of the hinge are 3/4. The gusset in between is 3/4. I don't know why I did a 3/8 of an inch. So I did. So I don't have much room, but I did put our second card here so that depending upon how we adhere it, you know, we can simply do that. And it's still, you know, it's on the page and it still functions. But since, again, looking at ways to hold this in, because I'm using such thick cardstock to make sure that it's going to withstand, we need to find a place for our card here, and you can see what's going to look I think I'm going to put that one right there. I think with the green, it'll look absolutely beautiful. She is going to go here. So I'm just going to take my clip without shifting everything too much. These big clips are holding the front, the back, everything. And I'm just going to clip that down because you'll see how we glue all of this in place. Okay, that's in place. And you can see that when I close this, we have these beautiful snowflakes sticking out. Now, I'm glad I did that because what I am going to do is take one snowflake and I'm going to put it right here. And we're going to use a lot. Now we're going to use double-sided foam squares. I'm just going, and you can see I'm crossing over that plastic band, which is cool because now that's not going to go anywhere. And we'll cut some smaller ones. Now, if this was not sticking outside of the border of the book, I would not have cared if I did this or not. So, you know, keep that in mind. There are some things that, you know, we have a little, or I have a little, okay, gotta fix that. I will remove all these pieces of release paper. And we're going to line up the same snowflake that we have for here. And again, they're symmetrical, so that's perfect. And we're just going to really press that down and make sure she is in place. Okay. So now we have that. Let's put that back into the book, and we can, and you can see the back. I'm not going to worry about those little bits there. We're fine with that. But that big one, you know, we have that look, so that when I put this here or here, I mean, either side, I think it will look great when we close the book. Let me fix this here. Get that back to where it should be. There we go. We have this just peeking out, and then we have it on the other side. So we could choose to punch a hole in this possibly at the end and put a beautiful charm coming from it. So that is what our book is looking like so far. We have our 3 cards in there, and we just have 2 more to do. Here, I think we're going to do something different. I'm going to probably add some pockets, a folio. What I really want to put here is an accordion pocket. So it's not going to have a card here. We just have our 2 spots right here. I believe the stenciling is going to go on this one because of the bulk, or it's going to go here, of course, because this has bulk too, but I do have more room for when it comes to that large die, and I will be using these extra snowflakes with that as well. Possibly. You never know. All right, so I do hope, now again, this is starting to look like an alligator mouth only because of these clips, and I have not put the fasteners in yet. So I hope you stick around for card number 4 and 5, and then the final video when we put it all together and do the final reveal. Woo! So again, guys, I'll have everything listed down below to Bibi's collection for her snowflakes that I am using for this. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy the process. Don't get frustrated. Just enjoy the process and keep going. Don't give up. Continue to try something new and different. Or stick with what you love already. That's the beauty of paper. But remember what is most important to me, always and still. Always be creative, guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Till then.